sagt Bescheid, wenn die Oberhof ankommt. Und sie gehen über die Brücke drüber und gehen an der anderen Seite wieder runter. Liebe Andi, Richtung Arena, von daher viele Grüße. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ab in die Arena. Dankeschön.
Zu Ende geht, aber nur noch 5 Minuten bis zum Wettkampf. Wir müssen ja noch schnell umschalten, sonst wird das ja gar nicht mit der Übertragung. Wir wollen uns zuschalten in die Welt, wie wir gesagt haben, von Witzelroda bis Vladivostok. Und zählen dazu wieder runter von 10 und dann schalten wir um aufs Weltbild, das in die Welt getragen wird vom zweiten deutschen Fernsehen. Der 27 aus Korea, Anna Rodina, die 28 aus Polen, Magdalena Gwiston, mit der 29 aus China, Tan Jia-Lin und schließlich mit der Startnummer 30, und das wird Adi am meisten freuen, Rosanna Crawford aus Kanada.
Schauen wir wieder warm sein.
Und die Arena singt.
Die erste Anfang mit der Startnummer. Willkommen nach Frankfurt.
We're ready to go. And the top seeds obviously on the front row of this mass start. Kukalova, Mäkäräinen, Dalmar, Durand-Abert. The women's tour as tight, as competitive, as exciting as it's ever been. Now, the top 25 in the World Cup get the right to start in the mass start, and the 5 best performers from the races here in Oberhof. So Sjardine Sloot, formerly of the Netherlands, racing for Sweden, she's in number 26, and Anna Frölina, formerly Anna Bilgina for Russia, is racing for Korea, wearing bib number 27. So keep an eye out for them. It will be a while before they feature. They're right at the back of the start, and we're underway. Mäkäräinen in white in the centre of your picture goes for the early start. And nice to see Lara Dalmar back in action. She's wearing bib number 3, 2 races missed, and she's gone from 1st to 3rd in the World Cup standings.
Well, if you're not there, you lose that opportunity, especially when there's a sprint followed by a pursuit. She practically threw away, well, I've expected her to pick up 100 points out of those 2 races.
Now, while we're watching them make their way out of the stadium for the first time, just an update on the World Cup standings, because it's worth making a note. Kukalova leads, so she wears bib number 1 today. She's 5 points clear. Bear in mind, this is after 10 races, only 5 points clear of Mäkäräinen. She's 9 points clear of Dalmar. She's 20 points clear of Durand-Abert, so only 20 points separating the top 4. And then a bit of a gap back to Dorothy Vera, who's 87 points behind. So in terms of the Crystal Globe, Mike, still 5 in it or just 4?
Well, I think 5. Dorothy Vera, I think we'll see her. She's slowly, before Christmas she was getting better and better. A little setback over Christmas, she's come back a little weaker. But I think we'll see Dorothy Vera really challenging for the podium today. Possibly even a win.
We could see a change in the yellow bib. Kukalova has it at the moment, and she has the red, having won the mass start in Novo Miesto prior to this weekend. That was the best race we've had this season, but I think the men's mass start this morning really taking the biscuit. It was tremendous.
Oh, you couldn't script that to make it even more exciting. And I think this one today in the women's field, yes, there are only 4 or 5 really strong names, but it's still going to be tight.
Mäkäräinen, she's good on skis, and she knows it, and she's going to make everyone hurt in the early stages. The Finn, who's had some big disappointments, particularly at her home World Championships a couple of years ago, is still a force to be reckoned with. Kukalova looks happy, stuck in the group. If she's going to win this one, she's got to do it with the shooting. Mike, sorry, I was just going to say, Kukalova hitting 19 out of 20 in Novo Miesto.
I think she'll certainly podium, I believe, if she achieves that shooting score today. I think she'd need 20 to win it, 20 out of 20.
Dalmar coming back from illness. So many of the athletes have had it. It's not, it can be bad. I think your lad Scott had a really bad dose of it, but a lot of them are only off for 2 or 3 days. That's unusual with sort of flu symptoms.
Well, that's right, and especially sickness, as long as you're over it, if you're still not being sick 24 hours later, get some food back in your system, and I think you're fine a couple of days later. I like what Mäkäräinen's doing. Only Breza, the tough Breza, the youngest in the field, is able to stay with her. I think we might see a
toughest
follow.
of the corners, and I think that was Akimova struggling on this right-hand bend. One or two hitting the snowplow as they come into the turn. China's Tang Yalin is at the back of this group at the moment. Mäkäräinen, look at the focus on her face. That is tremendous. Breza showing that she spent a little bit of time on alpine skis. Dalmar on the outside of the turn. Durand-Abert taking full advantage, nipping through on the inside, wearing 4. Good skiing from her. 2 French women in the top 3 at the moment.
You're right, Breza, I thought, approached that corner beautifully. She was balanced a little bit like Durand-Abert. When you've got a background of alpine skiing, it absolutely helps you on these fast, they're about 65 kilometers an hour coming into that bend, maybe more.
Akimova, 14th and 32nd so far at this meet. Compare that with the 1st, 3rd and 10th that she took in Novo Miesto just before Christmas.
I was just thinking, it's very cold back at home for Akimova today. It's minus 24 in Moscow. And that there's a very cold, well, we've seen it here in Oberhof as well, the cold spell coming across from Eastern Europe.
And we've had a bit of everything here. The first day it was beautiful blue skies. We've had wind and fog. We've had a bit of everything. Actually, the first day was the men's sprint, wasn't it? And that was foggy. The women had good conditions for their sprint event. Today, just about perfect. A little bit of fog earlier on today, but it's now cleared, as you can see. Sub-zero temperatures for the last 24 hours, so the tracks are in good condition. If you want a cheap cross-country skiing holiday, not a bad place to come, but make sure you're fit, because these tracks are pretty tough.
And they've got a lot more tracks, haven't they, past the stadium? And of course, if you want to ski midsummer, whatever day you want of the year, there's the 1.2 kilometre ski tunnel here. Well, what a great idea that is. And they can do the biathlon all year round.
Just time, Mike. A little bit of a curveball coming your way, but the for a change, the World Championships in Hogfilsen. Which World Cup venue that we've raced at so far this year do you think gives us the best indication of who can perform in Austria at Hogfilsen?
An interesting one. My mind a little went to Östersund, but it's not as dramatic. The climbs aren't as long. And also this track profile, little similar, but the aspect in Hogfilsen is you have hills where you're climbing over a minute continually. Minute 30. Here you've got about a minute 10.
And that big climb before you drop down into the stadium for either the shoot or, of course, the finish.
And you need your good alpine, your downhilling skills as well in Hogfilsen. Well, but Mäkäräinen is really slaughtering this field. Everybody practically on the limit. Nobody would have wanted to quite start this fast, except Mäkäräinen.
Yeah, I think Brazar may regret the move of going with her. If she can hit 5, that would be tremendous. Here's the new addition to the course here in Oberhof. It used to turn right at the top of the woods and then just go straight into the finish, but they've put in this nice little detour. Not if you don't enjoy climbing, but what I appreciate, Mike, is the fact that they've put in a couple of tough little corners. If you work on them, you can gain half a second, maybe even a second.
Oh, it's a great little addition. Oh, I absolutely love it, and all these 26,000 spectators love it as well.
So it's Finland who lead with Kaisa Mäkäräinen, really Finland's only chance of taking medals in this event. I wonder whether she heard of the success of the Finns in the Tour de Ski, getting a top 2.
I was just thinking as Mäkäräinen comes in there, Antti Leppävuori, well, the head coach of the Finns, he must have had a little chat saying, listen, Mäkäräinen, this is your strength, your ski speed. She always tends to stay with the pace first lap. I think it's absolutely right that Kaisa has pushed the pace here. That's her ski speed.
She's going for lane number 2. Kukalova comes all the way up to 1. Dalmau was settled in 3. Duran Hebert of France in 4, who was 7th in the last mass start in Novo Miesto.
Calming music in the background. It's hard to calm down when your pulse is at nearly 200.
Now, keep an eye on Brazar's target. She's hit the first one, but took a long time to get the first shot away, trying to recover from that ski effort. Dalmau hits 3. Mäkäräinen, 1, 2, 3, miss. She's out of this race before it's even started. 4 misses, 600 metres to ski. She's got no option now but to ski 100% all the way. Tactics have backfired severely for her. Chevalier goes clear. Kukalova is clear.
Well, that's such a pity. There was me praising the idea that if you're the fastest skier in the field, make it your pace to the range, but it absolutely didn't work for Mäkäräinen.
Dunkley of USA has gone through, so she keeps her good run going. Hasn't been shooting brilliantly here, it has to say, but I was impressed with what Dunkley did before Christmas.
Oh yes, she was looking very good, and her results, what the podium in Novo Mesto, so close to first.
Sleuth of Sweden, the best of the Swedes in the sprint on the first day of action for the women here, starting with bib number 26. She's up into 13th position, hitting all 5 targets, I assume. Yes, she has. And has to be said, the women have done better than the men.
I was just going to say, the women are officially better than the men. 18 women shooting 5 out of 5. In the men's race, it was 16.
Here are the targets for Dalmau. Give you some idea how the sights are. That second one drops very, very low right. Welcome back to Oberhof, just in time to see Kukaleva take this sharp right-hand corner. Is this what they call the wolf turn? Mike, I know the tracks have changed a little over the years.
Well, yeah, slightly further down to the left, that severe hill with Wolfschlager, they called it. It was too fast to include every year. Just updating Patrick, Mäkäräinen came in first by a few meters. She's gone out last by 15 seconds.
How things can change.
And 1 minute 30 behind. What's going on here? Pole missing. Another athlete? That's amazing.
Vanessa Hintz.
Well, that's the most sporting thing we've seen. She obviously broke Vanessa's pole and offered up her own spare pole. That's brilliant.
Brownie marks to Lisa Theresa Hauser there of Austria. The coach there's the Austrian coach making his way back down the track, trying to get to Hauser as quick as possible. And if he can get to the bottom of the hill, that would be excellent. Not a huge amount of time lost as yet.
Well, it has to be said, Akimova's skiing so fast, so well.
Don't forget, Akimova has already won this season. She took a first in the sprint in Novo Mesto, number 12. That's Puskachikova for the Czech Republic, 17th first time out. There's the broken pole. Is she all right? No, I think she's all right at this stage. The pole's still working, so something must have happened after that we didn't see. So many victims on that corner, Mike. Surely, if you're a coach, you get the athletes down there, put in 20 minutes or so, just working out the best line to take. I know it's difficult when there are other athletes there, but the key is to get the confidence up so you can attack the corner rather than being negative.
It's an interesting one. In the days leading up to it, I've raced on this track 9 times, 9 different years, and in practice that corner's fine. You know, you hit it fast, you can take it nicely, but as progressively as your legs become more tired, it's really quite difficult. The forces around that corner really want to throw you out. You've got to be so anchored and hands spread out, keep a low centre of gravity. It helps.
Look who's back in front. Lara Dalmar out for 2 races because of sickness. She doesn't seem to have lost any of the form that we saw before Christmas. So Dalmar in pole position at the moment. The Germans are delighted with the way things are going. Hildebrands in 2nd place. And don't forget, Germany have already had success so far today. Can they finish the weekend how they wanted to start it? I think they will have been a little bit concerned on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Today, things seem to be going their way.
No Dorana Baer in this lead group. I thought she might be, but 2 other French girls, Breza flying the flag, and of course Chevalier.
Yeah, we need to salute Breza because she attacked that first lap and managed to hit all 5 targets. It wasn't her who missed, it was Mäkäräinen who missed everything.
And Dorana Baer the other day was saying it's great to have these incredibly talented, and Breza, only 20-year-old young athletes alongside her, she said, and they're the real deal. They've got determination and they're hungry for success and victories.
Yeah, it's a strong-looking team, the French women's team. And I was wondering this morning, Foucault is so much better than the rest of the world, but he's so much better than the rest of the French team that there seems to be a chasm there. With Dorana Baer no longer the fastest, no longer the most consistent, it just looks as though the youngsters are getting really confident as a result of that.
I think you're right, and they're believing they can ski with, train with, outpace Dorana Baer, the young French girls, and they're proving that today.
Well, we did comment on the lack of crowd noise on Thursday, Mike, and suggested that it was due to the fact that the Germans weren't really featuring. Today, with 2 Germans in the top 5, we are going to have some noise, particularly on this shoot, the second of the prone.
Now, a number of the athletes will have received Gerard there. He radioed out saying, I think that Dalmar was shooting quite low right. I would certainly have suggested there are sights, click up, 2 clicks up and 2 clicks left. And the clicks, when you move the sight, they just make a click, they lock on so that you don't twist them too far.
Well, Hildebrand, as far as I can see, has the best record in the prone position this year, 94%. Kukaleva's at 92, Dalmar surprisingly only at 90.
She adjusted her sights. It looked like she did both adjustments the way that she should have. Dalmar.
Chevalier just settling. Who's first to strike? Akimova. Kukalova just behind her. 2 for Akimova. Hildebrand gets the first down. Brazar misses her first shot of the day. Dalmar working from left to right. Hits 1, 2 and 3. Kukalova with 1 more to go, as is Susan Dunkley. And the American downs her final target at the same time as the Czech. They go away. They haven't shaken off Dalmar. She's the danger woman as far as Dunkley and Kukalova are concerned.
This is a tough place now for Brazar. She's got to miss 2, and it'll be very difficult for her to get back into the sharp end of the race.
17 clear after the first shoot. So far, we've got 5 who remain clear. And here is Makarainen, and she's done well. An extra 600 metres, but she's had to push the pace. Are we going to see another 4? Are we going to see a change in the sights?
Oh, she's really pushed the pace. She's, yes, 2, 3 clicks to the left, effectively.
A shot.
Look at her pulse. 160, dropping to 157.
That's better. Needs 5. Has to get 5. Now, Mike, what happened between her 0 and her race?
Shouldn't have been that far off to miss 4, but she adjusted the sights this time in. Strange one.
Two shoots completed, and the winner of the first mass start is leading the way. She's got Dalmar and Dunkley behind her. It's a high-quality lead field here in Oberhof, just the way we want to finish the weekend. It's been drama from the very start. Oleana Bjorndalen so nearly getting in on a win this morning in the men's mass start. That is worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Down to 3, Mike. Akimova chasing. She's only 9.2 behind. Akimova's been so quick this season, surprisingly quick, that she might be able to close that gap, especially if Kukalova plays it tactical.
Well, Kukalova, what a weekend she's having. The race isn't over yet. First and a second position in the two previous races. Dalmar opting not to put her glasses down.
Dalmar wants to win. She wants to get back into the yellow bib as the World Cup leader, because it brings financial reward every time you race in the yellow or the red bib. Interesting change in pace from Dalmar. Dunkley hanging on in there. Here comes Akimova, and just behind Akimova is Switzerland's Selina Gasparin, a World Cup winner in a time. 14 winners, incidentally, in this field of 30. The bulk of them going to Makarainen and Kukalova.
It's still very close. That's 9 athletes within 25 seconds at the front, 26 seconds.
And Mace Chevalier, it's quite an upright position from her, very steady. Lisa Theresa Hauser pulling out, damage done, possibly. Hurt the rifle, hurt her back.
As
it was
always,
quite a tumble. She's still smiling.
I was going to say, as always, she smiles, but that was an impact. And remember, she offered up her pole as well to Vanessa Hintz. Pace is on. Dalmar looking so strong.
Yeah, I suspect coming through the range, we might be able to pick up on the Austrians shooting on the second shoot, just to check she went that far. Well, as we try and find that, just keep our eyes peeled on the three leaders. It's not a tough pace. They're trying to bring the pulse rates down before shoot number 3. It's only a 12.5-kilometre race, so each lap 2.5 kilometres compared to the men's 3 this morning.
Well, Lisa Teresa's shooting after the second shoot, she'd only missed 2, but whatever happened to her in the fall, she was almost 4 minutes behind. Just thinking of, well, Dalmeyer moving into second when most other athletes had a break, went on holiday, went to a sunny place after last season's racing. She went straight to Nepal and climbed 6,000-metre massive, difficult, stressful mountains. She didn't get to the top of one. She was disappointed. 300 metres from the top, but the weather was horrendous. And her and her 3 mates decided, no, too risky.
Yeah, she does things her own way. It was noticeable at the World Championships last year. She was obviously part of the German team, but she didn't seem to have that bond with the rest of her teammates, but she's quite comfortable making her own decisions, doing her own training, and I think that sort of a holiday just indicates what an individual she is. And I remember Vegard Ulvang used to disappear and climb mountains in the off-season.
And of course her father, I think that's where she gets it. Of course your younger years are so important when she did so much hill walking and climbing with her father throughout her, well, pre-10-year-old years and into her teens.
Most of the Germans start biathlon very young. And that's actually the difference, often the difference between the Norwegians and the Germans, and the French now are specialist biathletes, really starting it at a young age because there are so many facilities once they held the Olympics back in 1992. And the Norwegians will often come from cross-country skiing and then try their hand at shooting, either because they're not quick enough or they're bored with the monotony of cross-country training.
Dunkley is now 7.6 behind, still in contact though.
Yeah, I think she's playing it sensible. Needs to give herself a chance of hitting the targets. Dalmar, a better percentage rate this season than Kukaleva. Kukaleva, though, picking up after a rusty start to the season. Good discipline from Kukaleva. The wind, there is some, but it's not hugely significant at the moment. If this goes down, Kukaleva has the lead on her own. Dunkley has a penalty to pay. Dalmar has a penalty to pay. So does Akimova. And now a chance for Selina Gasparin of Switzerland to work her way into the podium positions.
Well, Akimova, I thought she was pushing above her comfortable pace. And often that trips you up on the standing.
Sloof of Sweden still doing exceptionally well. She's wearing bib number 26. The first target goes down for Sloof, former junior world champion, so we knew she had what it takes, but we haven't really seen it at senior level since that success. Far, the last one goes wide for Sloof. That's a shame. Mäkkäräinen trying to get back in the race, but another penalty pushes her another 150 metres behind the race leader. Kukaleva out in 23.21. She's got 23.3 second advantage over Puskarčíková. Czech Republic 1 and 2. Hildebrand 3. Dunkley still in with a chance, Mike, if she can hit the last 5.
She certainly is. Tang on the range as we watch.
That inner ring, of course, the prone target. So far, Kukaleva has clipped it on every shot. Four prone targets down effectively. A couple were close, but that was very, very good shooting from Kukaleva. High left, what does that indicate on the last shot?
You can just see the rifle moving up. Oh, that she's recocking. I think she's moving slightly top left, and it was close. Tension really brings that through, where the brain is telling you to squeeze the trigger and you leave it late.
Still 4 athletes clear. Kukalova, Puskachikova, Vishnevskaya hitting the perfect score so far, and so has Skardino from Belarus. Mike, just explain, in the prone, you hold the sights, the two ring sights on the target. In the stand, you drift. Some drop down, some come up, some come sideways. What was your preference?
Always from below. I felt you could see the target coming. The brain was registering the target as you move, gently move, not much movement, as you move the rifle gently through the target.
But you're not doing that by muscling, as in using the muscles to bring it up. Is it just a shift in the body position?
It's actually your lungs, 5-litre capacity, emptying your lungs and the breathe out. It just pivots the rifle on your left hand. Drop, and naturally it just, when you get a routine in that, it takes a few million repetitions, but once the routine's there, it makes it easier.
15,000 rounds a year?
About 15, some shoot a little more. I shot 29,000 one year just to learn the sport, but yeah, 15 is a lot of money's worth now when you look at the cost of ammunition.
So still, we have two Germans in contention.
Good skills.
Dahlmeier has skied exceptionally well to get back in touch. Puskachikova for the Czech Republic there, pushed down into 4th place. Kukalova still 30 seconds clear. She's having a blinder today, trying to make it 2 out of 2 in the mass starts. And if she does win, that will be 3 wins from 4 races. And don't forget, she was on the podium in the pursuit, just pipped at the post by Durand Hébert of France. Dahlmeier, she looks as though she's just got out of bed, but she doesn't look 100% alert. She doesn't look 100% healthy.
Well, yeah, her eyes there, it's the wind chill coming down that hill. All the other biathletes have got glasses on. That's why the first time I said surprisingly, or I'm really surprised she hasn't her glasses on. Your eyes then become a little bit, tears coming out your eyes in those cold temperatures.
30.4, and that is more than 1 penalty loop. So Kukalova has a 1-shot advantage at least over Dahlmeier and Hildebrand. If she hits 4 out of 5, she will come out of the stadium first. But we've seen Dahlmeier chase down a 15-second deficit on Kukalova over the last lap. She did it at this time last year, so she'll be confident. She is back to tremendous form. She's won 3 in a row before, and I think she looks a little lighter, Mike, a little fresher. There's the drink for Dahlmeier. Only a 12.5-kilometre race. That might surprise some. Just thinking of the winning time, around 35 minutes. Under 35 minutes is very possible.
This is strong, focused skiing. And at day 1 here, remember, she's had bib number 1. She skied her own race, didn't care, went quite easy on the first lap, a little more pressure second, and 3rd lap fast. Now she's really picking up in this race.
Yeah, I like that skate 2 of hers. If you watch it closely, you'd think she's just about to put the ski down, but then she drives it out in the direction that the ski is going. And then on the uphill climbs, quite a lot of movement. It's quite a long cycle. It's not a particularly high tempo, but she's strong. And she'll get a chance to work out where the opposition are. I'm sure her coaches have told her she's 30 seconds ahead, and she will know exactly what she's got to do. Does she need to know that she's got a shot advantage over the others? Not really.
Not really. She'll try and stick to her normal routine, but I think this time around, I know Kukalova, she's hit 15 out of 15. There's more pressure, as always, final time in for the stand shoot.
Dahlmeier, 9 points behind the World Cup leader, Gabriela Kukalova. She needs to beat the Czech today. She needs to beat her by 2 places if she wants to go back into yellow for the next round of the World Cup races, which incidentally take place in Ruhpolding. We're heading there on Wednesday.
That's right, relays included in next week's programme again. I love the relays, they're always even tighter these days.
Yeah, the women's relays are brilliant. France, Germany, the 2 main contenders. The Czech Republic, I mean, they've got much more strength in depth than they've ever had. I think it just requires a little bit of luck if they're going to win. But with someone like Kukalova on the last leg, they're a dangerous team.
Very much, and you need a good anchor in your team. Vitek there, he was on the radio, the head of the women's team coaching, and he was shaking his head. I wonder if he's got an element of doubt. I hope not.
5 clear in this race so far, out of a field of 30. That's a good percentage. It's not easy to shoot clear in the mass starts. No one managed it in Nowe Miasto. If Kukalova does it, she's looking at her 3rd victory in 4 races.
That rifle is so steady at the point of squeezing the trigger.
But the shots get harder. That was in the 8 ring.
Oh, flinch, the brain's playing its game now.
We saw her wait, bend the legs in the pursuit. Ooh, snatched at that. Brilliant shooting. Absolutely superb from Kukalova. Perhaps not quite as convincing as we've seen from Martin Fourcade over the season, but mark my words, that is a tremendous performance. Kukalova out in 31.01. She's going to have at least 25 seconds lead, maybe 30 plus. Dalmar for 2nd. Well, the standard of shooting's remarkable. No yellow flashes so far with, what, 22 shots down. Dunkley of America is the first to miss. Dalmar goes out. Puskachikova will chase her, but couldn't match Dalmar on the last lap. So chances are that Dalmar will be safe in 2nd. Gasparin for Switzerland is a podium beckoning. She needs to be quick if she's going to chase down Puskachikova.
What about Makarainen? She's already missed 5 and she's back with the lead pack practically.
It's funny, Mike, the skiing levels stay pretty much consistent over the years, with maybe a maximum 5% improvement or worsening. The shooting, though, particularly with someone like Makarainen, she has brilliant seasons, dreadful seasons. What's that?
I don't know. I watched her training. So up in Joensuu, 18th of October, I was there for a week with the Masters team, and her shooting was magnificent. I was scoping her shots when she was shooting on paper. I watched all her combinations, so skiing while out of breath, and she was really attacking. And she was shooting some of them in 23 seconds. She comes to a big any World Cup race and she changes. She changes a gear, she slows down, she doesn't stick to the routines I saw up there.
Dalmar still safe in 2nd, but it's not the double that Germany were hoping for here in Oberhof. It's going to be Gabi Kukalova who extends her lead in the World Cup standings, but it's still going to be very, very tight as we go into the 2nd third of the season. Oberhof, Ruhpolding, Antolz, the traditional resorts for the Biathlon Trophy events. Is it time that changed, Mike, or do you think we're always going to hold these 3 World Cups?
I think it works. It really works well when you get stadiums of, what, 25,000 at each of those venues. I love it. It's good biathlon. And traditions run quite deep in biathlon. Routines, and to get these spectators out regular, it's just so, as an athlete, so inspiring.
But you don't think Antolz are a little concerned by the success at Nowe Miasto, which was still the best supported event of the year?
That was great before Christmas. Probably has been some concern, but Antolz keep evolving as well, changing a little bit in terms of stadia and the road access up that beautiful valley.
Yeah, and the sun shines.
Yes.
The athletes certainly like it up there, racing at altitude. It suits the likes of Simon Schemp and Lucas Hoffer. We'll see if they're back on form in 2 weeks' time. Hildebrand goes through in 4th, and she has missed 2 targets today. That takes a large chunk of that 1 minute 15 that she's behind. Vishneskaya 1 miss, Zhima of Ukraine 3 misses, so she's done an extra 450 meters. She's only 120 off the leaders.
What a great day for the Czech Republic with Kukalova, but of course Puskachikova has hit 20 out of 20 as well. She's 3rd place, and I think she'll remain in 3rd place.
Well, I wonder how many youngsters, particularly girls in the Czech Republic, have taken up biathlon as a result of Kukalova's success.
Oh, I've heard the figures. That's so popular. She's on the television all the time. The clubs have got so many more out skiing as well as doing biathlon.
Yeah, she was on the cornflake packet last time I had breakfast in Prague. So she is massively popular. And I think what's impressive, Mike, initially in her career when she started having success, she got carried away a little bit with the glamour and all the modelling that she was trying to do and all the singing. That seems to have calmed down now. She's focusing more on the biathlon and getting the results that we expect.
She is. She's back on track. And, well, after Sochi, why not have that break and promote yourself? She's a big name in Czech Republic. And she's, as you say, she's back to top-class racing once again.
Yeah, and I like the story that when she was first in the club, you know, she was performing as well as anyone else in the club, doing next to nothing. And it wasn't until her teammates suggested that she actually did some training that she found out 2 years later that she was world-class.
It's interesting now, yeah, to get by with doing so little. It was clear she had talent. They saw that, they recognised that.
Susan Dunkley was right up there initially, but missed targets in the stand. She missed 3 in total, and after a really encouraging start, I think Dunkley will be a bit disappointed with the way things have gone. Just trying to check her position in the World Cup standings.
And good to see Sweden up there as well. Magnusson's in there in 9th position, brilliant. Dunkley 17th
in the World Cup, hasn't picked up too many points of late, so at least she's turned that around. Sleuth, another good race from Sleuth. She needs to get constant name checks. The change in nationality seems to work wonders, basing herself up in Sweden, where is it Sweden where her dad makes the cheese, or is he still in Holland?
It's Sweden, near Torsby, and then he sells it down in Holland, I believe. But that's 2 Swedes now. Wolfgang Pickler going to Ruhpolding next week. He'll be delighted. He's from there. He's their head coach. 14th and 9th for the Swedes.
Well, it was a very different situation at the end of the men's race, with 4 men coming around that final corner together. Kukalova has it all to herself. And there's not much of a race for second, with Dalmar some 11-12 seconds ahead of Puskachikova. Hildebrand's too far behind Puskachikova to threaten for a podium finish, but there will be a burst of activity to decide 4, 5, 6 and 7. 200 metres of celebration. That's how she likes it. In she comes.
Milk it.
Her 4th victory of the season. She remains the World Cup leader for at least another 5 days, because when the action starts in Ruhpolding, she's got to be on a game to hold off the likes of Lara Dalmar, who's finishing second today, and Kaisa Mäkäräinen, who'll drop a significant number of points today, but because she was only 5 points behind at the start, will still be in a position to claim the yellow bib by the end of the Ruhpolding meet. Dalmar, interesting, Mike, we were talking about her success when she showed how strong she was at the start of the season, saying the only thing that's going to stop her is illness, and she's already had to miss 2 races.
That's what she said. She's had bad years. Look at that, Czech Republic, 1st and 3rd, and the only 2 athletes to shoot the perfect 20 from 20.
Well, this is the race for 4 and 5. In the middle of your picture is Zima. Working well on the left is Vishnevskaya, who looks as though she's just edged ahead. And Hildebrand being raced out of this one. Good finish from Vishnevskaya. And she goes into 4th place ahead of Zima. So nice mix of nationality. The Czech Republic, Germany, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, all in the top 6 positions. Hildebrand losing a bit of ground, Mike. She only had a few seconds to play with, but overtaken by Vishnevskaya in the end. Gasparin, 7th place today. Gasparin, a World Cup winner, of course, 19th in the World Cup standings before today's action. Mäkäräinen 12th to 8th on that last loop alone. Fantastic ski from her. Dunkley pushed down into 9. Olsbu, the best of the Norwegians, in 10. And Magnusson in 11th position, so 2 good results for the Swedes. Dorana Bear, she won't be happy. The rifle, the barrel must have been bent, I think. 7 misses from Dorana Bear. That's a very rare occasion, and remember, she won the pursuit just 24 hours ago.
Breza missing 5 as well. The French girls have had a really terrible day on the shooting range. Still skiing fast though.
So Kukalova takes the win ahead of Laura Dahlmeier. And Puskachikova in third, so two of the big names have succeeded. Duran Abert, who was fourth, and Vera, who was fifth in the World Cup standings before today, losing ground to the two favourites. That could be a crucial race when it comes to the end of the season.
Vanessa Hintz, normally she's only missing one. On a bad day, she's missed 4 today.
Celia Ammonier, no danger of being caught by Canada's Rosanna Crawford as they just crawl across the line now. It's been a tough week. The women, remember, racing on 3 consecutive days. A sprint on Friday, pursuit on Saturday, and today the mass start. Anaïs Bechko, 20th last time out in the mass start. Today she drops to 26. So that completes the action from Oberhof. Another 52 weeks before we come back. Much better weather, which has improved the meet. 1 or 2 surprises as well, Mike, but generally the big names producing the big performances.
They certainly have been, and Kukalova really back on form. 31 podiums now. It's good that every race she competes in, it seems to get better and better.
And of course, she's only 27, the defending World Cup champion from last year. World titles on offer later this season. She'll be one to watch in Hogfilsen for those World Championships. Well, thanks for your company over the weekend. Another 2 incredible races, very different, but Kukalova impressive. Do watch the men's mass start if you get a chance. From Mike and myself, we'll see you next weekend. Cheers.
Thank you.